Welcome back. Well, the government shutdown is entering day 27. The Senate will reconvene today after failing to pass a funding bill for the 12th time last week. Many federal workers are missing their first full paycheck. They did so this past Friday. And the air traffic control will miss their paycheck this Tuesday. Lawmakers also rejected Senator Ron Johnson's bill, which would have kept some of them paid. SNAP benefits are set to expire this coming Saturday. A lot happening. Joining me now is Nebraska Senator Deb Fischer, a member of the Senate Appropriations Committee. Senator, thanks very much for being here. Earlier, we had on Anna Paulina Luna, Florida Congresswoman, and she said that the talk on Capitol Hill right now is that you all are not getting back to work until Thanksgiving at least. What do you say?
Well, we are here in the Senate trying to work. You know, we're getting some confirmations done of the president's nominees. We passed the National Defense Authorization Act, but the Democrats are not moving when it comes to a government shutdown. And I think you bring up good points there, Maria. What we're looking at are people not getting paid, a SNAP program that is going to affect millions and millions of people because the Democrats will not vote to open up government. We'll have another vote on that this week. Hopefully they'll come to their senses and realize that we have to open government so then we can get to work on getting funding of government, but also making sure workers are getting paid. People who receive benefits are going to receive those as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a very nice gesture, what we saw happen out of the Pentagon, the Department of War receiving a $130 million donation from billionaire businessman Timothy Mellon of the Mellon family. He wants to help pay America's troops during this shutdown. But come on, Senator, this is one paycheck. What's going to happen next paycheck? You can't find a billionaire to pay all these bills just to pick this up. So this is a nice gesture, but it doesn't necessarily end this thing. And we spoke with Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. I had him on the show yesterday, and he said now increasingly TSA agents are calling out sick. So isn't that the choke point for the economy? If we start seeing air traffic control shut down and TSA agents calling in sick, people starting to fly less, does that create what is a government shutdown to become an economic shutdown?
Exactly. You know, Maria, we shouldn't even be in a shutdown. The Democrats had the opportunity to vote on a clean CR that was sent to us by the House. There were no policy writers on it. There were no poison pills. They have voted on it before, I think like 13 times. But this time they decided no. No, they were not going to fund the military. No, they were not going to take care of our air traffic controllers. No, they were not going to be able to provide benefits to farmers, to people who are in needs getting their proper nutrition for themselves and their families. That was their decision. They need to stop it. They need to grow up, quit throwing a fit, open the government, and let's get to work.
Well, I mean, look, you make all great points, but the reality is that they're not moving. And, you know, you, a key person on appropriations, know better than anyone the fact that your work is being stalled now. You were supposed to be working on all these appropriations bills so that you can get the work done and come up with a budget. You haven't done that, right? So where does that leave all these appropriations bills? And if you're going to be out close to Thanksgiving, then that November 21st deadline is null and void. What's the conversation in terms of a new CR? Are you going to take this into 26?
Boy, I hope not. I don't like CRs. They don't benefit anyone. A short-term one is fine, which is what we were looking at here to begin with, Maria. On Appropriations Committee in the Senate, we have passed out 8 bills. Leader Thune promised he'd put them on the floor. He has done that. We have passed 3, and hopefully we're going to do some more. What I was really frustrated at, what I was really angry at, to be honest with you, is that we passed out these appropriations bills in a bipartisan process with lots of support. So we put the defense appropriations on the floor. It didn't pass. We only had a couple Democrats join us on it. Why wouldn't they vote for it? That's a question that they need to be asked, because everybody's patting themselves on the back that in the Senate we passed the National Defense Authorization Act. We did that the week before. Oh, this is great. Look what we're giving our troops. Look what we're doing to defend this country. But when it came down to it, Republicans voted. to fund all of those things, to fund paying our troops, to fund being able to provide them with the resources they need. And we only had a couple Democrats join us. I thank them for joining us, but we should have had everybody.
Well, of course, but I mean, who is going to blink first and who is going to be the adult in the room? You can't keep government closed for much longer, can you?
No, we can't. But there's no way that I personally can give in to these demands by the Democrats. Let's open government first. Then we'll talk about health care, this proposal that they came up with, that every Democrat voted for, to expire now, which were those COVID extensions. And yet they will not open government to even discuss that. They act like they have to have this vote before government's open. No, that is not going to happen. So they better realize that we're going to continue to offer bills like Ron Johnson's to pay our troops. We're going to offer bills to be able to pay our government workers. We're going to offer bills to pay the TSA. And the people of this country will see that they are not supportive of that at all. And I hope the people in this country, and especially in their states, call their offices, tell them to grow up, fund the government, and let's get going.
But now you've got to go back to the House to get the House voting on something. What would be the dates? What do you want to see? Do you want to see a CR funding the government until Christmas so that you're all standing there on December 24th, Christmas Eve, and you're unable to go home at the end of the year? Is that what's going to happen?
I hope not. You know, but if that's what it takes, we'll be here. I mean,
okay.
I'm here now. I'm here now and working. But
I see that, and that's great. This is fast becoming a major economic issue. I mean, I think we all need to admit that at this point. Markets may be rallying, and they're not focused on this, but that could change quickly. This is going to be an economic issue, especially if TSA agents are calling in sick. And it's also a national security issue. Senators, you're also looking at potential legislation on sweeping Russian sanctions. The president hit Russia's energy sector with penalties and sanctions last week, the two largest oil companies in the midst of Vladimir Putin's ongoing war with Ukraine. How does this impact all of that?
You know, this just shows, again, Russia is just after power. You know, I think it was a week ago they flew into the airspace of Lithuania. I support the president's sanctions. I support the bill by Senator Graham and Blumenthal. But there again, if we're able to get together and support sanctions on Russia to hold them accountable, to make it harder for them, why can't we get together and open up the government? It is very dangerous. You know, we hear the Democrats saying they don't want the president to have power. They don't want him, for example, making decisions about Venezuela. They don't want him to be able to unilaterally do whatever. That's what they're doing. They're giving the president more power because Congress is not functioning.
Right.
I really don't understand why they don't see that. In order for us to function as an equal branch of government, we need to be open. I don't get it. I seriously, I just don't get it.
Well, you make a good point. I mean, look, the reason that he has the power is because he's the president. Senator, elections have consequences. Good to see you. We'll be watching your work. Deb Fischer, thank you. In Washington this morning.
You.
We'll be right back.